Hi everyone, and welcome to your reading for today. Today we've got 3 groups that you can choose from. We have got the Amythest Angel, the Celestite Egg, and the Rose Quartz Quan. So have a little think about which group you'd like, and then we'll join you at the timestamps that are listed below. Hi Group 1, thanks for joining me. Today you've chosen the Amythest Angel. The amethyst is a very calming stone. It also works with the crown chakra. So it may be that you're having some dreams come in. So we've just got some channeling coming through. And this is from your higher selves. So as a group, you have very similar energies because you're drawn to this group. So what they're saying is don't be too hard on yourself. You are really expecting a lot out of yourself at this point in time, and there's no reason to do that. Life is a journey, and it's supposed to be a bit of a slippery slope at times, because that's where we learn. We're here on this great planet to learn lots of lessons. Things won't always be perfect, but just the same, things won't always be bad. So please ease up on yourselves. The more you berate yourselves, the more you're angry at yourselves, the more you're frustrated with yourselves, the harder it is to draw in what you want. From an energy point of view, you attract what you vibrate at. So, if you are telling yourself that you're silly, or telling yourself that you're stupid, or telling yourself you shouldn't have done that, you're going to draw people to you who are going to tell you those things, because that's what you're vibrating at. So the trick here is to elevate your thoughts and give yourself kind, loving thoughts. So when you are finding yourself in a situation where you're telling yourself off all the time, I want you just to pause, take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and then tell yourself how wonderful you are. Think about some great achievement that you've made, and we've all had great achievements in our life. Think about that and think, what a great job I did, just to turn the energy around. Or go into your heart and sit there in that space and just think, what a lovely place I'm in. So sometimes we have to trick ourselves into being in a better vibration. So you can put a funny movie or a funny show on and watch that and have a good laugh, because that really helps raise vibration. You can get out in nature, get your feet on the earth and just sit and watch. Try and spend less time on electronics, because that clouds your brain. And particularly because we've got the amethyst here, which relates to the crown chakra, you're very sensitive at this point with what's going into the brain and what you're feeding yourself as far as information goes. We live in a time where there's so much information available to us, and so many people's opinions that normally, even 30 years ago we wouldn't have had. We would have just had opinions from the TV and the newspaper, but now it's coming from all angles. So just be aware of what you're putting into your life. If you're getting stuck into dramas that are happening, say soap operas or something along those lines, if you're vibrating that and getting into that story, you will attract that into your life. So if you tell yourself this is just a story, it's entertaining, but now I'll let go of it, and you're not thinking about it for a prolonged amount of time, then that's fine. It is just entertainment then. However, if you're really getting into it and you're thinking about it, and this also goes for things that are going on either with your friends and family or in your work life, if there's some drama at work or drama in your family, the more you focus on it, the bigger it will become. So focus on things that you do want in your life. Focus on health, focus on wealth, focus on love, and focus on happiness. It's not always easy to do that. We're conditioned from birth to be hyperactive towards danger, and sometimes we perceive danger as some sort of drama or somebody telling us something about ourselves that simply isn't true most of the time. It's just their opinions or their own perceptions that they're projecting onto you. So take other people's opinions of you with a grain of salt, because it's usually what you're projecting out onto others. And if someone says something negative about you or to you, you might hear it from someone else. Think about where in your life you are thinking that about yourself, because you will find it. And then it's a matter of forgiving yourself and letting it go. The more you practice this, the lighter your energy becomes. So I don't know if you know of the Hawaiian prayer of Ho'oponopono. I can never say it, I'll put it on the screen. Practice that on a regular basis. We're programmed as humans to look for danger. And because we're living mostly in a place of peace, especially in the Western world, we perceive other things as dangerous, such as what someone says. So that sends off our fight and flight response. And that's not where we need to be, because over time that deconditions your body. It throws up all sorts of adrenaline and cortisol, and you end up really out of balance physically as well as emotionally. So please be kind to yourselves. Also, I'm really picking up on sleep is a big issue for this group. So try and regulate your body. There's a lot of studies on sleep and screens an hour before bed. So try to avoid screens an hour before you go to sleep and an hour after you get up, because that will really improve the quality of your sleep. Some B vitamins, some B complex will help your sleep, and so will magnesium, especially taken at night. Now, the other natural way to help improve sleep is, of course, stay away from caffeine too late in the day, but watching the sun set and then the sun rise in the morning. If you do that every day for 7 days, you will start to re-regulate your circadian rhythm. And from a spiritual point of view, in our human body, watching the sunset closes down our lower chakras, and so it allows us to be in a higher chakras where the dreams happen. And then it opens up again at the sunrise, because you're looking at the oranges and reds. So that is a really good way to help you regulate your sleep patterns again. Now, we are designed that we go to bed at sunset and we wake up at sunrise. We live such crazy lives these days that we've gotten out of that pattern. So try to re-regulate that. And also, there are some really important messages in your dreams. Now, because your sleep isn't great quality, you're not receiving those messages, or you don't remember them. So it's really important that you do get good quality sleep for all parts of your life. It'll make you a more efficient person as well. So that's all I've got for you today, Group 1. Thank you for listening, and I wish you perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love, and perfect happiness. And I will see you next time. Hi Group 2, thanks for joining us today. So you chose the Celestite Egg. Now Celestite is closely aligned with the angelic realm, and is also good for your throat chakra. So if you've got anything going on with your throat, Celestite is a good stone to help. You can put it next to your water bottle and just allow the energy of the Celestite to go into your water. You don't necessarily have to put it in the water. Now, let me just download some energy or some messages for you today. So I'm being told there's something to do with the ocean here. So we're planning on going on a voyage and it got cancelled, or there's something for you over the ocean but you can't get to it at the moment. There's a big emphasis here on career, so I suspect that you're wanting to move to different location for your career. For some of you it's family as well, like you really miss your family. And it does feel like there's been a big blockage around this, and of course given what's going on there would be, but I feel it's bigger than normal. You feel really frustrated by this situation, and unfortunately you're supposed to be where you are at the moment for a reason. So even though you feel strongly that you want to go to another place, especially overseas, you need to stay put for at least another 6 months, and there's a reason for it. Now, for some of you, that reason is love. For some of you, again, there's something else going on in your career that needs to be addressed or dealt with first. Or something new learnt. You might be studying, so it might be something new that needs to be learnt first. So please don't despair, because you will get there. However, there's a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. And where you are is the best place for your soul's development at the moment. So please don't be frustrated, because you will get there. The more frustration you feel, the harder it will be to get where you're going. So live in the moment and live each day as it comes. I know it's hard when you're trying to make plans and prepare for something and you don't know when it's going to happen. That's very frustrating. However, please trust the universe, because when it happens, when you get to the point of being in the right energy or the divine timing for when you need to go, it will happen smoothly and it'll happen swiftly. So please don't put a lot of thought into how it's going to happen or why it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. Just trust. Your guides are telling me to just trust that it will happen. But be patient, because the world kind of has to catch up with you at the moment. So I'm getting a lot of stuff around your abdomen or your stomach area, your tummy area. There's a lot of tension there, and I don't know if you're suffering from IBS or diarrhea or constipation, but there's something there, and it's also related to your heart here. So whether it's nervousness or something going on there where it's almost like you're so tense that you can't digest things properly. Things are not being allowed to flow through you as they normally would. So I'm feeling the need to take lots of deep, calming breaths. So a good exercise to do is the rule of 4, where you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold for the count of 4, you breathe out for the count of 4, and then you rest for the count of 4, and then start the process over again and breathe in for 4. So, and you do that 4 times a day. So it really helps calm the nervous system, and it's all about getting the breath down into your abdomen where you're feeling tense, because the energy is just not flowing there. So let's give it a go. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Yeah, there's a bit of a relief there now, but you would do that 2 more times. So that is an exercise that only takes 5 minutes to do, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it while you're sitting on the toilet. So it can be done absolutely anywhere. You can be sitting at your desk at work, you can be on the bus, it doesn't really matter. But it is such a thing that is going to release this tension and this stuck energy in your abdomen that's sort of going up to your heart. And it's also affecting your liver and your pancreas. So it's just like this band, this big ball of stuckness. So try and do that on a regular basis, just to help yourself with that. Now, some of you need assistance with something in your life at the moment, and you really should be seeking help for it. So this could be something different for all of you. However, I'm finding there's a few particular people that this is their mental health. So please seek assistance. But know that the divine is really supporting you through this. So this is almost like the last hurdle of a long and arduous journey. You've been through quite a lot. And once you get over this hurdle, it's kind of like, I'm seeing like a meadow that opens up, and it's nice and sunny and it's beautiful and it's calm and serene. So there's something that needs to be addressed here. It may just be a thought pattern that you've got, or it may be something very, very specific that you're dwelling on from the past, and I see it's probably from childhood, although for some of you it would be a broken up relationship. Again, and I feel that this has got a lot to do with what's happening in your abdomen and making you really, really tense. So between that and the frustration of not being able to get overseas, you're creating and you're manifesting in your life a lot of tension that really doesn't need to be there. So I'm getting for some of you, you may be helped by water therapy of some type. So going for a swim, or sitting in a nice bath, or going for a float, or anything to do with water. And just imagine that the water is carrying away your tension. And you may have to do this on a regular basis. For those of you who don't have access to anything like that, you can always get a bucket of water and stick your feet into it. And you can just do it that way. But water certainly is something that is going to help you with this. And also chamomile tea. So there may be some allergy type symptoms happening with your digestion as well. It may be a food that you're sensitive to, because chamomile tea really helps with that sort of thing, as well as relaxation. So your guides are pulling back now, so that's all I have for you today, Group 2. Thank you for listening. Wishing you perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love, and perfect happiness. I'll see you next time. Hi Group 3, thanks for joining us. Apologies about my hand here, but we couldn't quite focus on Quan Yin. So I've popped my hand here so you can see Quan Yin. So Quan Yin has come in, and I'm really getting hot here. I'm getting very, very warm. She's got a very hot energy. She's come here today to talk to the feminine part of ourselves. So we've all got feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves. And so she's come in to speak to the feminine side. Now, this particular Quan Yin is made of rose quartz, which speaks to the heart and also speaks of unconditional love. So that's the energy that's coming through. Quan Yin's an ascended master and really does help with the feminine aspects. So there needs to be some nurturing of yourself here. I feel that you have been so busy in your life, or so busy dealing with something that is from a past wound, that you're not really putting much energy into nurturing yourself. Now, nurturing yourself doesn't mean having to go for a facial and a pedicure and what have you. It's about being kind to yourself, but also putting energy into you. So often we see this with parents who've got young children, or children, any children really, and you're so busy trying to hold down your jobs and parent your children that life becomes a whole blur of looking after everyone else. For some of you, it's also you have elderly parents, or elderly parent who's been unwell or needs more care than usual. So there's a lot of your nurturing energy is going outwards and none of it is going towards yourself. So you might be doing the usual things of, having okay meals, or, going for a walk or a run every day, but it's more that it's a task to tick off your list rather than something you enjoy and something you feel in your heart is doing you good. So Quan wants you to sit quietly in a space for 5 minutes and just try and think about yourself in a way where you're thinking, what am I feeling now? What am I feeling in my body? What am I feeling in my mind? What do I feel I really want to do for myself right now? Because for some of you, you've been so busy that you're really not putting anything into yourself. And let me tell you now, Quan is saying, if this continues for much longer, you will be needing to be looked after. So you're going to fall in a heap eventually, sooner rather than later. Let's see, within a couple of weeks. For some of you, up to 6 weeks for others. So you really need to slow down, take stock of your life, and reprioritize, because there's not enough nurturing going into yourself. Now, of course, when we get stressed and we get really super busy and we're not nurturing ourselves, our immune systems take a beating. So please be aware of that, because you need your immune systems to be working optimally at the moment. So there's a lot of demands on you. Write down a list of what your demands are on your time and start looking at what you can let go of or what you can put to the side for 6 weeks, because you really are run down and you're really finding it harder and harder to function. Some of you are actually used to working this way for so long is that you find it incredibly hard to wind down. You're just always alert. You're in such a fight or flight response. You can't even sit still to watch a movie. So that may be your goal. You may have a goal that is particular for you. So whether you like, going outside and sitting outside, or whether you like to watch movies, or whether you like to read a book or have a bath and just relax. Have something that's just an activity for you, where no one else is involved and you're alone. Because I feel that you have been in such a social space, but not in a positive way, that you have such little time for yourself that you need to make that time. It could be that you do a meditation once a day for just 20 minutes, and that's your time to nurture yourself. Now, my throat chakra is really getting blocked here when I'm talking about this, and I feel for some of you, you're not willing to speak up and say to others that you're finding this very difficult, this situation. And because you're not doing that, you're not getting any support. And you can't look after anyone if you are in such a bad way yourself. You're really going into sacrifice to help others, and this sacrifice is being really detrimental to you. So true giving comes from being really happy to give and not giving from your own energy. So you can't give something you don't have. So if you're feeling so run down, you'll start to resent people around you that are impacting on your time and your space. So as much as we want to do things for our loved ones, there comes a time when you just have to say no and put boundaries in place and say, I can't do that today. maybe next week, because you really need your energy at the moment for yourself. And I get the feeling that for some of you, you're really being taken advantage of. So there are other people that could be helping who choose not to. So I think for those who've got siblings and elderly parents that you're putting a lot of time into, it's time to give some of that responsibility to your siblings, because they're aware of your nature and they know that you would just do it regardless. So they're taking advantage of that. And they don't mean to. I think it's just that they're not as giving as you are. So you give regardless, whereas some people give conditionally. And this is about unconditional love. You have a lot of unconditional love for the people around you, but you also feel incredibly obligated to help, and you feel very burdened at times. So now's the time to take the time for yourself, because it'll be very incredible at how, if you are unable to do it, people will just pick themselves up and they will come along and they will help without you having to say anything. So they can do it when they have to. So you just need to ask for help. And the throat chakra is going again. That's something you find very hard to do, is to speak up and ask for help. And this is probably coming from an authority figure in your life, where you were told either to be quiet or not to ask so many questions, or told to be self-reliant, or told to do it yourself. Excuse me. So these truths are coming up now, and they are really they're really irritating my throat, so I do apologise. That's part of your lesson in this lifetime. You've been put in this situation to get you to a breaking point, to get you to know how strong you are in your own self and with your own boundaries. So please bear that in mind. You're not letting anyone down. You're not letting yourself down. You can only do what you can do. And there is a saying along the lines of, your own cup has to be full before you can share with others. Some of you have got sick children, and you feel there is no one to share the burden with you. But there is. There's a lot of support for children who are unwell. Don't be afraid to ask for help from different organisations, because you will be granted the help. Even if it's time to go out for an hour for yourself and your own peace of mind, get someone you trust to help out for that, just even so you can get out in the fresh air and go for a walk or something along those lines. And for those of you who do have sick children, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. This isn't going to be forever. As time goes on, the burden will get less and less. Quan looks after children as well, so you can call on her to help with the situation, and you can call on her to help with the child or the children. Now, children are great sponges of what is going on in their environment, so if you are feeling overwhelmed, they will feel overwhelmed and probably exhibit more symptoms of whatever they're going through. So if you are light of heart, they will be light of heart. So it's good to get yourself in balance, because your children will follow and they will be more in balance. So group 3, that's all I have for you today. I'm wishing you perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love and perfect happiness. May all your dreams come true. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time.